All right, here is your boys training video. Mr. Gabe, the long-awaited. I know you're chomping at the bit, so I'm going to make this as easy to understand as possible. If you guys have any questions, you know where to reach me, and certainly we'll be following up with you about a lot of this stuff. So a big bulk of your list was things on impulse control, having to do with his prey drive, all that kind of stuff. So things that I taught him was a lot of exercise. Number one, he gets 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night of loose leash walking. And I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll show you when you pick him up. But also, I take him at times that's a little cooler because right now it's pretty hot out there. So we do 30 minutes around 7 a.m. and then 30 minutes like 7:38. And he seems to be tolerating that pretty well. I know one of the things on your list was that he was trying to lay down when he was walking with you, and you were finding that super annoying, which I totally get that as well. He only tried that probably a handful of times. Once I taught him the principle of loose leash walking, how to do it properly, and then we added a correctional collar to his repertoire of stuff. That seems to have helped a lot, but we'll cover all that. So first things first, let's talk about loose leash walking first, since we're on that subject. Here, Gabe. I use really good treats with him, and good treats are human grade products. Here, buddy, sit. So he likes cheese. I use cheese sticks a lot with him. You can use things like turkey lunch meat, boiled white meat chicken. I think his favorite is roast beef that I've used so far. He seemed to perk up the most about that, but that's something you can use. So I taught him loose leash walking on the left. It's kind of the standard in dog training to put dogs on the left because the first caveman drawing of a dog with a person was done on the left, so they made that the standard, as silly as that seems, but that's what they have done. When he's out for a walk with me, the way I'm holding my leash right now is called neutral leash position. Just by holding the leash this way, it's actually discouraging him from pulling. Just the way I'm standing here, my shoulders upright. If you go to this method and let him go to the end and kind of walk back and forth, now all of a sudden it's kind of a little bit of a dominance game with him. So keeping him back next to you. The goal for our walks, is that he's right next to you. He's peed and pooped, ate, drank before he goes. You can even do some fetch with him before he leaves. And then you're gonna go for a walk. So he's not sniffing, he's not patrolling around, he's with you during that time. And by with you, I mean nice J in your leash, you can see it here, right? And he's walking nicely next with you. Let's go. So his word for walking is let's go. I tried, I don't know if he's gonna do this in a small amount. Sit, sit. I've tried to build in a sit. So when you stop, I want him to sit next to you. It's just so if you're walking downtown anywhere, when you stop, he stops. As in, if you get to a crosswalk, he's not going into the road, he's seated next to you. So that's one thing we worked on. But again, 30 to 40 minutes of, okay, let's go, loose leash walking a day. His word is let's go, and he's on the left. You can remind him that when you stop, sit. That he sits, okay? And that's totally fine. If you're gonna use treats on your walk, you don't have to, but if you're going to, they go in the hand closest to the dog, okay? Because if they're in the opposite hand, the dog is gonna come across the front and cut you off, okay? And we don't want that. So loose leash walking. If he lies down, you can give a quick little pop on the collar. I'm gonna show you how to put the collar on when you pick him up, but a quick pop on the collar and remind him that the let's go command, all right? The prong collar is the one we're using, we chose for him. So the clasp should be between his ear and his jawbone, you can see down here. And the leash goes in the one that's like a semicircle, okay? So there's one that's a circle, that's the martingale style, but then there's also the semicircle one on the bottom, okay? So that's one thing that I want you to be doing with him. If he approaches something on his walk, the biggest part and the biggest amount of time I spent on this was leave it and leave it come here, okay? So I'm gonna show you those next. I'm gonna take this off of him for now because he's pretty serious when he wears that. All right, mister. All right, so first things first, you can practice his commands. So first, sit. I do leave it, which is fingers, treats in fingers. I hope you can see him there. It's hard to tell from my distance. So fingers are wrapped around it, you let him chew, and then it's leave it. Leave it. Open hand and tell him take it. So take it means put it in your mouth. Leave it means let it alone. Gabe, good boy. Good. So fingers are closed around it. He can chew on it. Leave it. Yes. Take it. Good boy. So the second right now he's showing any kind of aversive response to that when you say leave it, I open my hand and tell him take it. That gives him instant gratification of having whatever he wants because he listened to you. Now we have one that we move, leave it to the floor. This would be things that he's going for he doesn't have yet. Okay, so as in the cat that's running down the street, a bird that he wants to chase after, another dog, a person approaching, so on and so forth. So let me get a leash. Hang on 1 second. Here, Gabe. Good boy. Come. Listening much better to his name these days. Okay? So you kind of give him a preemptive heads up with this one because he's still learning this. Here, buddy. Leave it. Good. Good boy. So after I throw it down, leave it. Come here. Good boy. If he goes for it, he gets a pop on the leash, and then the command, come here, follows up. Okay? When he gets to me, he gets a treat for that. Are you leaving with the treat? You might have to throw down another one. So the key with this exercise, even when you're done with the thing that's distracting him, he never gets the food off the floor because that's self-gratifying, right? I want him to think that all the good stuff in the world comes from you guys instead of self-served. Leave it. Good boy, yay! And the good stuff, again, comes from me over here. So if he goes for it, again, it's leave it. The secondary command follows, which is come here. All right? Now we worked on his recalls hard for your off-leash stuff. Now he's been doing well here in the fenced-in paddocks. So what I would encourage you to do is find a fenced-in area where you live and work some of this stuff where you know he can't get away from you. Okay. Oh my gosh, we have some drama llamas in the background barking. Okay, so this is a 2-treat exercise. I taught him the front command, which is you're out there running around the field, come here and sit between my feet. Okay, so this is a 2-treat exercise. You can play this game with him at home. Make sure you can see me, okay? So first one is you throw the treat out to get him away from you. Gabe, run! He sees the second treat. Good boy. As he's grabbing the first treat, you're holding down the second one. You pull, as he's coming towards you, you pull up towards your belly, and he comes in and sits. Now, obviously, he's been trained. So that last part is a little lessened. Now, I'll show you again. Gabe, friend. Good boy, here. Here. What are you supposed to do? There it is. Good boy. So he comes right in and sits. Now he should be close enough to you that you can easily reach down and grab him. Okay, because part of this whole thing is that he's easily accessible to you. So if he's not, you put a treat down and take a step back. Gabe, front. And he should come front. Oh, he thinks I'm telling him to lie down. Good boy, front. Good boy. He should come at you a little more, okay? So that is front, the front command. And again, the purpose is that it gives him a place to land, which is right in front of you. Another thing that we played going along with this and kind of helping with your recalls a little bit is the name game. We re-taught him to respond to his name and come when you say Gabe. So you noticed in this video probably that every single time I said his name, he came to me, right? So how you play this at home is you wait till you get distracted by something. He gets distracted. He pays very close attention to me now because he knows I have really good treats. So I'm gonna pitch this out. Okay, go get it. Good boy. Gabe. When he comes to me, he has to get very close. You see how close he is? My treat hand is almost attached to my leg. So he has to come, Gabe, he has to come to me to get his treat. And in the yard, this has been really key for him. The problem with dogs is they learn that the second that you say their name or call them, generally that means something bad's gonna happen, as in you're gonna put them away, they have to go inside, they have to do something that they don't wanna do, stop playing, so on and so forth. So the biggest thing for him is that when you say his name, let him go play again. So his commands go play, and normally paired with chasing a ball, right? And he knows I have food now, so he's not gonna leave me. Gabe. But see how he flicks his head now when you say his name. Before he was pretty much on his own terms about this whole thing. Now he's pretty keened into me. He walks over to the door every now and again, but generally in this room and outside, he has not left me. So that's pretty good. So that's a name game. I want you to play that. Right now, I've been hand feeding him for meals, as in I measure out the same amount, put it in the bowl, and then offer it to him by hand. He's take it or leave it on his food, but I don't leave food in his bowl all the time, and this is why. I want him to understand that the food is coming from me, not from the dog food fairy on the, just putting it in the bowl on the floor for him. And the reason is because if he was in a pack of wolves, the dominant male and dominant female are the ones who control who eats, when they eat, or if the other animals eat at all. So for him, this is a bit of a dominance exercise. So I measure out his food, hold it in my hand. He either eats it or he doesn't, right? If he eats it, I grab more, so on and so forth. If he doesn't eat this after 10 minutes of holding it, it goes back in the container and we wait till later. So if he's getting like a cup and a quarter in the morning, a cup and a quarter at night. So if he's not eating his cup and a quarter in the morning, I'm not offering 2.5 cups at night. I'm only still offering the cup and a quarter at night. And the reason for that is, one, I'm teaching him limits, but two, he's working harder for my treats in between, and therefore they have a little more meaning. So that's one thing that I do want you to try. It's a good dominance exercise for him. I think he's ready to start off leash stuff with you at home. For me, he hasn't wandered away now that I've kind of got him on a routine. Now he's distracted. Gabe! And not only is he coming, but he's coming quickly. You couldn't see, but he trotted across the whole floor. He will do this outside with me as well. So I think even with the long line, if you're going to practice outside, I've been practicing with a long line. He's been doing really good. So it's Gabe when he comes to you, like here. Good boy. You can't see him, but when he comes to you, go play. Good boy. Go play. Go ahead. That's one thing that I want you to follow up with, is the go play. He can go do what he wants. Now, you had mentioned on your list, you had nuisance barking. Okay, so one thing he does not like here is a spray water bottle. I use the word quit with him, and quit is whatever you're doing, stop it, okay? And that could be used for chasing something or barking, anything. So it's quit. If he continues to bark, then he gets sprayed. And by continuing to bark, I mean 1 or 2 times after you offer that quit command, okay? So it's quit, bark, bark, spray. And it only took him a couple times to realize that we don't do demand barking here, which is what he's doing at home. It's called demand barking. And that he'll soon figure out that you have that power too, okay? So that's a good thing. Let's see. Oh, we also worked on stays, and I'm going to show you what these look like. Gabe, good. Come on. That drama llama dog. Okay, let's get you. So right now, again, I'm using cheese sticks and turkey lunch meat, which he loves both. Okay, everybody.